What's going on YouTube? So you may have known that Toyota is discontinuing the Avalon after 5 generations in the US, which left many of us to wonder, what will Toyota replace as their flagship sedan? Well, this right here is the answer. The all-new Toyota Crown, which is a vehicle a lot of you guys will probably be surprised by. It both is and isn't a sedan in the traditional sense of the word. And with hybrid exclusive powertrains, it represents a total rethink for Toyota. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dig into this new and interesting product. So Crown, of course, is a famous nameplate for the Toyota brand. It's actually been on sale since 1955, and it was on sale in the US up until 1972. But this Crown is really nothing like the previous ones. It really is a new course for Toyota brand. And like I said, it's a very unique and interesting product. So let's go ahead and dig into some of the details. So first and foremost, up here in the front, we have a very aggressive looking design. As you can see, we have a large grille. You've got basically a section up here at the top, and then down here on your lower area, almost the entire front end is a grille. A lot of this is going to be sealed off actually, but as you can see, you do have a very commanding grille up here in the front for an aggressive look. Now as we come over here to our headlights, you are going to notice premium LED headlights on board. These are going to be the multi-beam LED headlights that come on the Limited and above. You also have this really cool daytime running light that actually extends and runs across the entire front end of the vehicle, again for a very unique look. Now this model here does have the really cool bi-tone paint scheme. I'll let Mason talk about that in a little later in the video, but as you can see, that also adds to the overall very unique look. And then of course the really signature thing that makes the Crown different from a traditional sedan is this right here. You're going to notice we have an elevated ride height. This is actually going to be 4 inches taller than a Camry. So obviously you're setting somewhere between a traditional sedan ride height and an SUV ride height, which is going to give this a very unique and interesting look as we move around to the side. Now as we come around to the side, the next place that takes us are the wheels. You are going to have 19-inch alloys standard on your XLE and your Limited grades. However, when you get to the Platinum trim level, that's where you get these absolutely huge 21-inch alloy wheels. Not only are they very large, they also look really, really good in my opinion. I love this contrast design, mostly gloss black, but we do have these little blades of silver trim that kind of accent throughout. And it just looks really good overall with this vehicle because you've got that extra ride height, and Toyota has filled that out with these really large wheels. You also notice we do have a little bit of trim surrounding the wheels as well as the lower part of the body. That's going to give it a little bit more of a rugged look, kind of supporting that elevated ride height. And as we come up here to our mirrors, as you can see, it's going to be finished in gloss black with this model with that bi-tone paint. In terms of your features, I don't have a full list of the features, but you do have standard blind spot monitoring.
All right, guys, there is a lot I want to discuss about the side of this Toyota Crown. Of course, it's a very polarizing design. There's a lot going on, but as far as the overall length, we don't have those official figures yet, but we do know this is a full-size sedan, and as you can see, it is quite long. So I would expect it to be about 190 inches or maybe even a little bit longer. Now it is riding on Toyota's TNGA-K platform, so we do know that as well. And I want to mention some of your design elements going on here at the side. So first of all, we do have some blacked out window surrounds. We have actually chrome here at the top. It's blacked out on the bottom element. And you're also going to have the floating roof design as well. In addition to that, we do have blacked out door handles with some chrome accenting, so that's of course a really unique look. And then we're going to have this side panel here as well. Once again, giving this kind of a rugged and very premium look at the exact same time. Now, I do want to point out what Drew mentioned earlier. So, of course, probably the most polarizing element about the design of the Crown is the fact that we have the two-tone paint scheme. So this is a Toyota first, and it's going to be available on the Platinum grade Crown models, and it's available in 4 different exterior colors. This, of course, is the red, and it's really going to black everything out. You have a blacked out hood up in the front, blacked out mirrors, the roof, and then as we head into the rear, you will notice that there's a lot blacked out back here as well. So all of this element, all of this stuff is going to be blacked out if you go for the two-tone model, and I really like the way this looks. It's certainly very unique. If you drive one of these down the street, I don't think anyone's going to suspect it for any other car on the road right now. Now, as far as other elements going on in the rear of the Crown, you're going to have a very premium design. As we've said throughout this review, this is Toyota's flagship sedan, so they got to make it a very beautiful as well as elegant design. They have done that here, so we have very fancy LED taillights that run the full length of the rear. As we saw in the front, it also has that full-length LED daytime running light, so that's kind of cohesive in the overall design element. Like I said, full LED, so each individual element in there is LED. We have our Crown branding, Platinum branding as well, and then over there on the left side you will notice there's Hybrid Max branding, which we'll talk about just a little bit longer in the Powertrain section. And then if we drop down to the lower area, no exposed exhaust outlets on any single Crown model, as you would expect out of a hybrid vehicle. Now, I do want to mention your safety systems for the Toyota Crown. So as you know, with a lot of other Toyota models, they throw in all of their safety systems as standard equipment. That's going to continue for the Crown, as you would expect, since it's their premium sedan. It's going to have Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, which means that you're going to have forward emergency braking and pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, auto high beams, as well as adaptive cruise control. And that's in addition to a few of the special elements that Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 includes. But guys, that's going to wrap up the exterior design of this Toyota Crown. As you can see, it looks like nothing else on the road, and I think that's certainly a good thing. But now let's go ahead and check out that premium cabin before we talk about the powertrains.
All right, guys, so this, of course, is a very unique product. You're probably wondering, what is the cabin like? Is it as unique as the exterior? So let's go ahead and climb inside here and take a look at the interior. So first impressions, really, really nice looking cabin. We have a very upscale design on board. Kind of reminds me of a Lexus, actually. But I'll go ahead and let Mason climb into the back seat here so you can get a real nice look at this interior, and we'll go through all the individual features. So like I was saying, here is the cabin of this 2023 Crown. Very spacious feeling in here as well. But before we get into all the details, I do want to go ahead and point out your key fob, of course. This is kind of your traditional Toyota key fob, nothing super special going on, but you do get a new system, a digital key system, if you go for the Platinum trim level. When you choose to have that, that's going to allow you to access your vehicle with phone as key, and you'll be able to share those keys with other people if need be. So getting into our materials and our seating, you are going to have a few different choices in terms of your colors and your materials. So if you choose the base XLE, that's going to be a cloth and soft text leatherette seat. However, if you choose the limited or the platinum we're in, you're going to have real leather. And as you can see, this is a very nice looking seat. We've got the perforation that runs down through here. We've got this really nice stitching detail as well as the color contrast piping. Looks really nice, feels very nice as well. This is going to be available in black, a black with brown combo, or a macadamian, different options. Now in terms of our other materials in the cabin, let's kind of look around at this. We do have a nice soft touch door trim here with the leather and stitching details. It is going to be padded across the top. Of course, all four windows, one touch automatic, as well as memory seats here on this top end model, as you'd expect. And then as we move on to our upper dashboard, this is also a padded plastic through here. As we go down, more of this padded plastic that runs kind of through here, like a really cool design elements. And you also have a little bit of padding over here as well for your knee to rest against this console. And even though this is a pre-production model, the build quality here is very nice and solid, as you'd expect from a Toyota. But of course, we're inside of a studio. I'm not going to fully start it up, but I'll press this button here and we'll fire up the electronics and take a look at that. Now right off the bat, you're going to be greeted with a very high-tech looking cabin, specifically with the gauges here. So as you can see, these are full digital gauges. They're actually 12.3 inches, and this is standard on every version of the Crown. I'm really happy to see that. These are very vivid and nice looking gauges as well. And they're going to contain a lot of different information, of course, some specific information for your hybrid systems as well. Now, as we pull back to the steering wheel, we do have a new design I've never seen in a Toyota vehicle. We've got kind of a triangular shape here. We've got some gloss black buttons right here and a little spoke down at the bottom. Of course, it is going to be nicely leather wrapped. We don't have any information on if the steering wheel is going to be heated or not or anything like that, but I can say we do have rain sensing wipers on this top end model. Now, another thing you've probably noticed at this point is this lump right here. This is actually a sensor to monitor your face. Toyota really didn't say anything about this specifically, but I'm assuming this means that the Crown is going to be available with the new Teammates hands-free driving system. So that's going to be a really cool feature that I guess is going to make its way from some of the Lexus products down to the Crown, which of course is going to be Toyota's premium flagship sedan in their lineup. Let's go ahead and take a look at interior storage next. So opening up our center console here, we've got a very nicely sized console. It's pretty deep. It's going to be a little hard to see inside, but as you can see, you do have a USB and a 12-volt outlet. Of course, you got your two cup holders up here. We also have two USB Type-C ports, and we have this right here, which looks like a third cup holder, but this is actually your wireless phone charger. So you just slide your phone right in through there, and that's going to charge your phone right up. And as we kind of pull back here, there's a lot of elements inside this cabin that do remind me of Lexus. The shifter is one of them. This is very NX-like. Some of the recent Lexus products have had this same shifter. So it's electronic, so you're going to push to the left there, pull back for drive, push to the left, push forward for reverse. Obviously, I'm not going to do that right now because the vehicle is not powered on, but I can still show you guys the 360-degree camera with the perimeter scan, which is what this is doing right now. This is going to be included with the Limited with Advanced Technology package or the Platinum grade as standard equipment. As you can see, it looks quite nice up there on that large display, which I'm getting ready to talk about in just a second. The other important thing, though, that is right next to that button is this right here. You'll see a steering wheel with a P. This is an automatic parallel and perpendicular parking system, which is included on just the Platinum trim level, but that, of course, is going to allow you to press that button, have your car park itself hands-free. As we continue our way up the dashboard, the next place we come to is our climate control panel here. I'm happy to see that this is all physically rendered, so you just have these nice knobs to go ahead and adjust your temperature really easily. Earlier I did say that I couldn't tell if it had heated steering wheel. Actually, the heated steering wheel button is over here, and it is automatic here on the Platinum grade. Additionally, as we go over here, we do have 3-stage seat heating that's going to be included as standard equipment on all the models. We also have seat ventilation, and that's going to be included on the Limited and the Platinum trim levels. Up above that, we've got a nice volume knob physically located as well. This is going to control two different audio systems. The base XLE is going to be a 6-speaker sound system. However, both the other two trim levels, Limited and Platinum, will come with an 11-speaker JBL sound system, and as you can see, that does give you obviously a lot more speakers. You got those up there on the pillars, and I do believe you have a subwoofer as well in the rear. But let's talk tech again, because just like with the gauges, this is a big upgrade for the Toyota brand because this is using their brand new Toyota Audio Multimedia Infotainment System. This display is 12.3 inches, just like the gauge cluster, and it is standard on all grades of the Crown. As you can see, graphics here are really, really nice. Very detailed. We're in the built-in dynamic navigation system, and as you can see, that's very nice, fast, and responsive. The other big feature of this new system is, of course, that you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which run wirelessly. A lot of you guys like that, and we've tested out on some of the past Toyota and Lexus products in the last year, and it has worked very, very well. Now, as we rise on up from the main display, we do have our auto-dimming mirror with the HomeLink universal remotes built into it. And then we got another very premium feature up here at the top. You'll notice we have a panoramic sunroof. Very nice to see this. It is going to be included on the top end version of the Crown. I do want to point out though, this does not open. This is a fixed glass piece. The only control you have is to open and close this sunshade, which I can do right now. But otherwise, it's not going to open or close.
All right, guys, come on back here and join me in the all-new Crown's rear seat. Now, like I mentioned on the outside, this is a full-size large sedan, so that is, of course, going to transfer to a very nice rear seat area. So let's go ahead and dive deep into that. Now, unfortunately, I don't have specific legroom figures for this Crown because this is a very early studio shoot. They don't have those official measurements in, so we're just going to be guessing as far as that is concerned. However, I'm 5'9", Drew's 5'8". This is the seat adjustment. I'd say I probably have 10 to 11 inches of rear leg room between my knees and the seat back. My feet can also slide easily up underneath the seat, so certainly a really comfortable area. If I had to guesstimate, I'd say this is a little bit larger than a Camry, but not by a massive amount. Now, as far as some of the features, though, it's going to be a lot more premium than a Camry, as you would expect. So here in the center, we are going to have vents. I assume those are going to be standard equipment. Dropping below that, we have 2 USB Type-C ports. Then we do also have a central armrest that we can fold down. It's going to have cup holders inside of that. I'm kind of noticing this armrest is like from the previous generation Avalon. And then if you go to the door trim, you do have a nice one, nicely padded on the upper part. We have a leather trim through a lot of the lower areas. And then we're also going to have the heated seat button. That's actually going to be standard equipment on the Limited and Platinum Crown. So both of those trim levels will have that, and we do also have bottle storage down below that. All right, guys, so let's walk up to the cargo area for the Crown. Now, when we first saw this design, we were a little skeptical. We didn't know if it was a hatchback or a regular sedan where you have a trunk. Well, it is going to be just a regular trunk. So you locate the little lever here to open it up. It's very hidden, so you're definitely not going to just accidentally stumble upon it. And inside of here, we don't have the exact cargo figures yet. Like I said, this is very preliminary. This is just a studio shoot. Those will come in a little bit later. However, I can say there is a lot of space back here, guys. I mean, I think I could climb in there and be perfectly fine. So you're definitely going to have a large trunk area. This is probably 16 cubic feet plus if I had to estimate. So it's a large area. We also do have 60-40 split folding seat backs as well. Then if we lift up the cargo floor, it looks like they're going to include a spare tire. Now your passenger seat is going to be power adjusting as you would expect out of a premium vehicle. Then if we open up the glove box, it's going to be a pretty small glove box, honestly. I was not quite expecting it to be this small. It's very shallow, but you could still fit our coupons in there. I unfortunately am a little bit on a time crunch, so I can't go get them and show you, but I do think they would definitely fit in there. And up top, we do have a sun visor. We have LED illumination as well as a mirror. We can also detach the visor out as well as extend it. All right, guys, now it's time to talk about a very important part about the Toyota Crown, and that is the powertrain components. So what is going to be powering this all-new model? Now, it is going to be hybrid exclusive, but there are 2 different options for the powertrain. So if you go for an XLE or a Limited, you're going to get the kind of detuned version of it. It's just going to be a less powerful version of their 4th generation hybrid system. It's going to be a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine with 2 electric motors, and preliminarily they're looking at 236 horsepower for that model. That said, there is a more powerful option, and that's what we have here with the Platinum model. So if you go for that Platinum model, you're going to get their Hybrid Max system, which is a 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder with a front electric motor and a rear e-axle, which is a really powerful motor in the rear. That is going to have 340 horsepower combined. So that's a really powerful option for a sedan like this. It's actually going to be the same design system as what you see in the upcoming Lexus RX 500h Performance. So that's certainly very cool to see in a sedan like this. Now, as far as your transmissions are concerned, there are 2 different ones. So if you go for the XLE or the Limited with the weaker engine, you're going to have a eCVT. If you go for this Hybrid Max, which of course is going to have the most performance of the Crown lineup, that's going to have a 6-speed automatic. So that's going to be certainly a pretty cool thing to see, that you have the 6-speed automatic with the hybrid components, and I think it's going to really improve the overall driving experience for this Crown. Now, in addition to that, you are also going to have standard all-wheel drive on every single model, although it is slightly different all-wheel drive systems depending on the powertrain you get. Now, of course, we're not going to be driving this Crown. It's just a studio shoot today, but I do have a few things that I want to talk about in regards to the driving that might be important to your decision on which trim level to get. So if you get the Platinum model, you're going to have an adaptive variable suspension, which of course allows you to adjust the comfort level depending on the drive mode. So if you put it in comfort mode, it's going to have a lot more comfortable of a ride. And it also gains a Sport Plus mode to really stiffen up this vehicle and make it perform as well as you would want out of a 340 horsepower sedan. Now, as far as the fuel economy, we do also have the privilege of knowing that information. So for the base motors, you're going to be looking at 38 miles a gallon combined. And then for this Hybrid Max model, you're looking at 28 mpg combined, which is still very exceptional fuel economy for something with 340 horsepower. And if you're really not all that not concerned about the performance of it, if you go for one of the more basic trim levels, you still do get almost 40 mpg combined. Now, you're probably very curious as to how much this Toyota Crown is going to cost and when you're going to be able to pick one of these up at your local Toyota dealer. And as far as the on-sale date, Toyota has stated fall, so that's going to be pretty soon. I mean, you only have to wait a few more months for that. And for pricing information, unfortunately, we do not have that exact figure yet. Toyota will release that closer to the on-sale date, but we do expect this to be a premium price point because this is Toyota's premium sedan, so definitely be looking quite a bit more than something like a Toyota Camry, and you are definitely getting a lot more for that price tag. But guys, we've really enjoyed standing here next to the all-new 2023 Toyota Crown and showing you an exclusive first look at it. We look forward to reviewing it later this year, so if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button down below. We would really appreciate it because it gets us to events like these to show you all content first. Anyway, we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.